It began like 1,000 other road trips. A quiet Louisiana highway, fields stretching wide, and a lone rental car pushing north toward Barksdale Air Force Base. Inside, General Aurora Daniels, one of the highest-ranking officers in the U.S. Army, kept her eyes steady on the road. She was traveling without escort, by choice. Aurora believed that rank didn't make her untouchable, and she preferred to move without the weight of flashing lights or a convoy. But the world had other plans. Her secure phone buzzed against the console, the Pentagon. Not a call that could wait. She needed signal fast. A few miles later, she spotted an old filling station, Miller's Gas and Goods, a weather-beaten pit stop with peeling paint and sun-faded signs. She pulled in, parked off to the side, and stepped out with her phone raised toward the sky, searching for reception. "General Daniels, verifying secure line." She spoke into the device, her tone calm and clipped. A Pentagon officer responded instantly, relaying sensitive updates. Aurora listened intently, scanning her surroundings the way 29 years in uniform had trained her to. But across the lot, people were watching. To them, she wasn't a general. She wasn't a decorated leader who had advised presidents and commanded soldiers in war zones. She was just a black woman in plain clothes, holding a strange-looking phone and speaking in phrases they didn't understand. Suspicion brewed where respect should have lived. Inside the station, the clerk, Carol Ann Doyle, mid-50s, lips pursed in permanent disapproval, watched Aurora through the greasy glass. Carol didn't see a war hero. She saw trouble. She reached for the landline and called Mosswood Police. Her voice dropped into a conspiratorial whisper. "Yeah, I got a suspicious female out here by the pumps. Real shady, talking strange like code or something. Might be on drugs. Better send somebody quick." That lie set fire to a fuse no one could stop. Minutes later, red and blue lights slashed across the lonely highway. 2 Mosswood cruisers swung into the lot hard enough to scatter gravel. Out jumped Officer Brent Keller, mid-30s, thick-necked, eyes hidden behind mirrored sunglasses, and his eager rookie partner, Officer Todd Briggs. Both moved fast, hands hovering over holsters, the air thick with tension before a single word was spoken. Aurora lowered her phone, keeping her palms visible. "Good afternoon, officers," she said evenly. "How can I help you?" Keller didn't bother with pleasantries. "ID? License. Now." Aurora nodded, moving deliberately. "Of course. My credentials are in my wallet. I'm on official business. General Aurora Daniels, United States Army." She extended both her ID and official travel orders with steady hands. Briggs glanced at them, then snorted. "General? Lady, you expect us to believe this?" Keller smirked. He didn't read the papers. He didn't care. "Fake," he declared, tossing her ID onto the hood like it was worthless. The small crowd outside the station grew. Drivers slowed, locals lingered, phones began to rise, recording. Aurora kept her composure, though her jaw tightened. "Officers," she said calmly, "I advise you to verify with your supervisor. You're making a serious mistake." "Turn around," Keller barked. The cuffs were already in his hand. "Sir, I am a general in the U.S. Army," Aurora repeated, her voice sharper now, cutting through the murmurs of the onlookers. Briggs laughed. When Aurora didn't immediately comply, Briggs grabbed her arm. Keller yanked the other behind her. Gasps rippled across the crowd. Whispered. Some filmed. Nobody stepped forward. On the ground, her secure Pentagon phone clattered, still live. The voice on the other end shouted her name, then went silent into static. Inside the Pentagon's Command Operations Center in D.C., Colonel Dana Reeves stared at the blinking red line labeled General Daniels, Secure. The audio feed was chaos, muffled shouting, clatter, then dead air. Reeves's stomach dropped. "Pinger!" she ordered. Technicians traced the signal to a dot on the map, Miller's Gas and Goods, Mosswood, Louisiana. Reeves didn't hesitate. "Get Barksdale Security on the line. Now, back at the gas station, Aurora sat cuffed on the curb, her back against sun-baked brick. Keller loomed above her. Aurora inhaled slowly, the discipline of decades steadying her. "You have my ID. You have my orders. Everything you need is right there." Briggs smirked for the crowd. "She's lying. Bet she's running some scam." But before Keller could gloat further, his radio crackled alive. "Unit 5, confirm subject detained." "Affirmative," Keller replied smugly. "Female, early 40s, non-compliant. Static." Then the dispatcher's urgent reply, "Be advised, subject is flagged federal. Repeat, flagged federal. Pentagon contact initiated. Release immediately and await further instruction." The color drained from Keller's face. Briggs froze, suddenly less sure of himself. Aurora didn't move. She just looked up at them with quiet steel in her eyes. "I told you," she said softly. Moments later, a convoy of black SUVs roared into the lot. Their arrival was precise, disciplined, and cold as stone. "You are hereby ordered to stand down pending federal investigation. Any further action will be obstruction of justice." Keller stammered. We didn't know." "You had her credentials in your hand," Shaw snapped. His gaze hardened. "You didn't want to know." The crowd fell silent. Even Carol Ann, the clerk who had made the call, shrank behind her counter. Aurora stood, flexing her raw wrists as Shaw guided her toward the SUV. She didn't glance back at the officers. They weren't worth it. By morning, the grainy cell phone video hit every major outlet. Two small-town cops handcuff a calm black woman who told them, over and over, she was a U.S. Army general. The backlash was immediate. Civil rights leaders called it racial profiling at its ugliest. Veterans groups demanded accountability. Even senators weighed in, praising Aurora as a patriot and condemning the officers. Keller and Briggs were suspended within hours, their names plastered across headlines, their careers shredded before they could spin excuses. And Aurora? She didn't gloat. She didn't rage. At a press conference outside Barksdale, wearing her full-dress uniform, she looked out at the cameras and said simply, "I was not humiliated yesterday. They were. Because when you see a black woman in this country and assume she cannot lead, cannot serve, cannot be who she says she is, you don't disgrace her. You disgrace yourself." The applause rolled like thunder. Aurora Daniels knew the battle for dignity was far from over. But she also knew this. One phone call to the Pentagon had ended their careers, and one voice, steady, unbroken, could remind the world what accountability really looks like.